Training is provided to prison officers to manage and support inmates with special needs. New officers undergo training as part of the prison officer course to develop understanding of their needs. The training also familiarizes the officers with the support structures available for such inmates within the prison system. But we have to be realistic. Prison officers cannot be and are not trained to the level of qualified counsellors. Special needs will have to be dealt with by assessing specialist expertise. Since 2022, the Singapore Prison Service, SPS, has also worked with the Movement for the Intellectually Disabled of Singapore, MINDS, to provide training for officers in areas like communication and behavioral management. For inmates with intellectual disabilities, SPS modifies the content and delivery of rehabilitation services and programs. For example, correctional rehabilitation specialists and psychologists who conduct the psychological-based correctional programs would deliver the content to such inmates using bite-sized information, supplementary visual aids, and simplified language, or they would slow down the session to make it easier for the inmates to understand the content. For those who are assessed to have adjustment issues, such as difficulties with being separated from their caregivers, SPS officers will engage them more frequently in order to better understand their needs and support them. For inmates with more complex needs, SPS adopts a multidisciplinary team, MDT approach. The MDT comprises professionals and specialists like psychiatrists, prison psychologists, prison correctional rehabilitation specialists, and prison officers. The MDT decides on the behavioral management plans for inmates with mental and intellectual disabilities. Inmates can report abuse through various channels, such as to the prison officers on duty at their correctional unit, or during their regular engagements with their respective correctional unit officers. Inmates may also raise requests or complaints with the superintendent of their institutions or with their visiting justices during their regular visits. In addition, inmate cells are equipped with distress intercoms, which inmates can activate if they require immediate assistance. At the same time, SPS officers are trained to spot signs of inmate abuse when conducting their regular patrols and body searches. Any inmate who commits offenses against other inmates will be subjected to investigation and, if found guilty, punished.
I'd like to ask whether the prison service have a separate regime or protocol where on a day-to-day basis where officers actually keep watch over prisoners with such disability due to the likelihood that these prisoners may not be so upfront to voice out any complaints or mistreatment or maladjustment. So on a day-to-day basis, watching out for this, which is separate and distinct from the way that the officers will watch over the other prisoners. Thank you.
I'd like to assure the member that we not only look at inmates with intellectual disability, we have this holistic approach where we call it risk, need, responsivity approach, whereby we look at the different profile of the inmates, and if there are certain needs that need to be provided or we need to be mindful of them, we will certainly do so. And, you know, on a day-to-day basis, you realize that even though our ex-offenders have made mistakes in their life, there's a lot of element of care within the prison or within the correctional unit. And I feel very touched sometimes when I visit prison. Fellow inmates, they share with me, they care for one another and they look out for one another. And what they want is to go through a holistic process or true care process of rehab and reintegration for each and every one of them, including those with intellectual disability.